the number of people who are down on Brown and the type of things they're saying, the reasons they are saying them, really bug me. They really show a lack of understanding, a lack of taking note of what's happened and what's happening. I believe, despite the glitches, that there is every reason to believe in this team, to believe in Coach Brown, to believe in his staff, and to believe that they will put it together this year and continue to get better. I'll get to all of that, but I do feel this overwhelming urge to say, this is Forrest Poston. You are watching WVU football going deep. I suppose you have a reason for doing so. I suppose I have a reason for being here. But I do hope you'll enjoy watching and continue watching if I haven't scared you off already. And please share, subscribe, make comments, click the thumbs up button, click the notification bell, tell your friends. I'm getting kind of close to the 500 mark, about, I think, 75 subscribers. We can get there in a real big hurry if you will help. You're my lead blockers. I need you. All right. Now, a football team is built just kind of working from small scale to the bigger scale, first with players, then with rooms, then teams with a small t, and then team with a capital T. Now, switching back, and you've heard this part of the story many times, when Coach Brown took over, he had some players. Not enough to have a room. There was not a single room on the team that was sufficient. And room is, position group, quarterback room, wide receiver room, offensive line room, that sort of thing. You know that. And the teams with the small t, you could not put together a good offense, a good defense, a good special team. That's what I mean, team with a small t. And by choice, Coach Brown focused the recruiting on rooms. Because with individual players, if every player on your team is good, you might win a year. But to win consistently, you have to have good rooms. He focused early on offensive line, defensive line, built those rooms, built with quality, working to increase the strength, the speed, depth, to have the experience spread out so that you don't suddenly, have all seniors backed up by all freshmen. And we actually have had that happen if you go back several years. And, bit by bit, he worked on the wide receiver room. We're good there. Worked on the linebackers. We're young but good there. Running backs, look at the stable we've got. Look at the quarterback room. Then there's the defensive back room. Now, a lot of things have gotten away, but with the defensive back room, there have been some mistakes in recruiting, no two ways about that. Mistakes that led to having players who couldn't do what they needed to do, recruiting players who didn't want to be here and left, And then, we've had injuries. A lot of things have gone wrong in the defensive back room. It's just been the hardest hit in a lot of ways. It's been very slow to build. Now we have the talent and depth. Actually, pretty good spread in terms of how things are spread out among the classes. Right now, we've got a bunch of guys who are young and not quite ready, and we have a bunch of guys who are experienced elsewhere, all these transfers we brought in. Now, I admit, I thought these guys were going to come together by the beginning of the season. Other people were saying, hey, you got, I think 6 new guys in the room. That could be a problem. Well, turned out to be a bit of a problem. Now, for experience and talent, who's been here a while, we got Jacoby Spells. Then he got hurt in spring, and he's, they say, pretty much back to 100% now. Played some in the early games, couldn't play a lot. Has played well. But each of the rooms, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breaking it down to 8 rooms. Coach Brown and his staff have successfully built 7 out of the 8. And that means talent, experience, depth, and a spread for the experience level. If they have done it well with 7, and they have, why should we not expect them to do it with the 8th? It has not gone as planned. I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened sooner. Everybody wishes it had happened sooner. There are things they could have done differently, could have done better, that probably would have made it happen earlier. But perfection just isn't one of those things you're going to find. Definitely not in the mirror. So they've had problems with the defensive back row. I think they have the material to fix it. It is just a matter of getting the players to do what they are capable of doing. Most of these guys have already shown they can do it elsewhere. Now they've come to a new system. For some, it's a very new system. Some of the techniques and philosophy, different. But most of these guys came to West Virginia because of those differences. And because of the coaches who work that way. But not everybody learns the same way, same speed. You can have a good student and a good teacher, and it takes time for things to click. I think that's where we are. They're just not quite adapting to the changes as quickly as you would hope. Now, of course, Hollis has been here, since spring. Would have thought he could make the transition. Guys like Tarnu and Fagan came in late. Crandall was here early, got hurt in spring, so he missed a lot of spring. But we have good players. We have players who have shown they are good elsewhere. We have coaches who have shown they can get results. They've built 7 rooms. Defensive backs last year, we had Ruffin and Bishop. Ruffin, who had been here for a while with these coaches, and Bishop, who just came in late for the year. They developed both ways. These coaches have shown they can develop a player over time, can develop a player quickly. It just did not happen exactly the same way this year. But everybody involved has shown they can do the job well. So, it's going to happen. Whether it will happen so they can win the 10 games or 9 games I predicted, well, they're evidently not going to win the 11 that I was hoping. If we're counting the regular season, well, that's out the window. But I still am looking for a very good season. And again, I think history shows that's what we should be expecting. Successfully built 7 rooms out of 8. That seems like a pretty good predictor. All right, guys. Still coming up are the keys and questions video for Kansas. Still thinking about that one. Got some ideas how to make it so that it's not just a repeat of the last 2. And I'll be doing the live post-game show once the Kansas game is over, as soon as I can take all necessary steps to be ready. All right. I will see you, hopefully, several times this week and in the future. Thanks for dropping in, and hope you will stay and come back. Sorry I can't offer you a cup of coffee, but go ahead and fix one yourself. And I'll talk to you later. So long.